Greetings, Spencers. So today we're going to go through the plays of the squinting cut. But first I think this cut deserves an intro. The squinting cut, or shielhau, has different reasons given for its name, from how it looks to actually squinting while doing it. You can decide for yourself. The squinting cut is described as strange and not known by many masters. It was something likely not used outside of Liechtenauer students. I think this leads to a slightly wider deviation. The masters who wrote these early manuscripts were often separated and had decades in between them. Most of the plays are similar in most manuscripts with slight variation, but the squinting cut seems to have a bit more variance. From the Schielhau being an oberhau thwart, short edge one side, long edge the other, to more of a hanging position, or to more resembling a regular high cut but with the short edge. Experiment with different ways, and you don't have to limit yourself to one form. They each provide different advantages and disadvantages. Overall, there are multiple things the Schielhau does well, but I struggled to find something that a standard oberhau or zornhau couldn't do just as well. I came across two reasons or advantages that the squinting cut has over a long edge cut. The first being the shooting position for maximum range. If you use a zornhau, in order to extend the point, I would need to overextend the wrist and hold the sword very lightly or rotate the guard. Different people have different tolerances for how far they'll hyperextend the wrist. I personally have a very low tolerance and prefer to have a stronger wrist position and follow-up capabilities, along with less strain on tendons. The Schielhau allows that extended position from the get-go without hyperextending, and the second is the connectability to other German techniques. Often a Schielhau will be the fastest follow-up attack you can make. When going full speed, it's not always easy to switch grips back and forth constantly. The squinting cut breaks the guard plow by a slightly lower targeting of the breast to allow covering of their sword. More likely a person will attempt to parry your squinter, allowing you to easily wind in on their weak. A buffalo is someone who attacks strongly and quickly, without safety for themselves. Using the superior range of shooting the point, or schießen, you are able to thrust safely while they're out of range, as long as you get the point to a solid target like the head, neck, or upper chest. This is due to stopping power and a higher chance of immediate lethality. Hitting arms or lower chest and stomach is more likely to result in a double hit. A squinter can also counter cuts and thrust with either a cut or thrust. Again, by shooting the point, one can counter deception such as changing through, flitting, failing, circling.
Oh! That hurt.
Making a thrust from ox or plow doesn't have max range, but is used because it covers with winding. Because winding covers an opening, they are short positions, off to the side. Shooting will strike first. Watch to see if your opponent is quick to enter winding and take advantage of it. Because they can't threaten you fully in those positions, it's an opportunity to change through, then shoot the point. This is the first of the two deceptions used to counter long point. Looking like it's a cut to the sword, then squinter to the neck. You can experiment with how in-depth to make it, whether it's just the posture or actually using two cuts. The next deception against long point, making it look like you want to strike the head, but then using a squinting cut to the hands. The same things apply here as previous. These are the two plays that refer to squinting with your face as the feint. Not an easy thing with masks. The Schielhau is an interesting cut and is one I hope to keep getting better with. I find it's one of the best follow-up attacks after hanging parries and crooked cuts. There are two video links in the description. The first is the Sprachfenster blog video looking at schießen in depth, and the next is to Anton Kohutovich demonstrate examples of his Schielhau. Thanks for watching, keep studying, keep practicing.